how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Sharks of Summer is a series around here where once a week during the summer I take a look at a shark movie, and this week we're going to be looking at Noah's Shark. This is from 2021, directed by Mark Polonia, and stars Jeff Kirkendall, Ryan Dalton, and Jamie Morgan. And this is a case of a movie that really doesn't deliver on its concept. You see this poster and you see this title, and it really does put in your head this image of a totally different movie. You think the movie's going to be about Noah on his ark, and there'll be a shark in the water, and the shark is like attacking the boat, trying to eat all the animals and people inside. That would be a fun movie. You could even do some gags where like the dinosaur eggs fall off the boat and the shark eats them or something. It could be fun. But that is not what this movie is. What you need to know going in is that this is a Mark Polonia movie. Mark Polonia does super low budget movies. At their best, they're cheesy, dumb movies. At their worst, they're lazy cash grab films. And sadly, over the course of his career, he's been going more and more into the lazy cash grab route. Obviously, the fun movie on the cover cannot be delivered through a Mark Polonia budget, so what do we get instead? No major spoilers, but here's the setup for this movie. We open up with the character Father Benna, and this character we have seen before in the Mark Polonia film Amityville Exorcism. Don't worry, you don't have to have seen that one. But basically, Father Benna has a TV show now where he's exorcising demons, but when one of the demons accuses him of sexual misconduct, without any actual evidence, he's cancelled and he loses his TV show. He gets a gig narrating a Noah's Ark documentary, and when he asks about the documentary, it turns out the guy heading the project is a TV producer guy that got fired from a mega church after skimming funds off the top. A older religious woman had recently sent him a journal and a piece of wood, and he basically explains that this journal is like a witch's journal, and it can lead you in the direction of the ark. A guy in the past had taken the journey, and that's where the piece of wood comes from. It's a wood plank from the ark itself, and now he's hoping to make a documentary about going to find it. We also get a whole bunch of this convoluted story where Noah had a secret fourth son, and that fourth son was approached by a demon in the form of a shark, and the shark wanted to go on the boat, but Noah already had two sharks, and the son let him on anyway, and when they found out he brought a demon aboard, he was thrown overboard and they vowed to never speak his name again, and now the remains of the ark are haunted by a demon shark, and somehow there's a witch there too, I guess. Yeah, as long as they spend constantly re-explaining this story, it still is a little murky, and it should really go without saying that 90% of this is just made up for the movie. Don't take your Bible lessons from a movie called Noah's Shark. Go out and read your actual Bibles, kids. And if you are into the whole conspiracy angle, hidden books of the Bible thing, at least check out the Y-Files instead, because they will cite their sources and explain where this stuff actually comes from, and if it has any credibility. As it stands, this plot is just a convoluted mess. And so much of the early movie is just constantly circling around this. The movie's plot structure is basically a really long first act, then a kind of long second act, and then a really rushed third act. And so much of the beginning of the movie is just constantly re-explaining this whole thing with the hidden son and the witch and the shark, and just explaining it and explaining it. In fact, there's this whole bit where they talk about the guy that brought back the plank of wood, and even though we understand this story, they still feel the need to go and do a flashback and fully show us the story that they already told us. and it even becomes less clear because it sounds like the guy died on the mountain, but then how did the plank of wood in the journal get back to civilization? And don't worry, we're going to recycle this footage of the guy on the mountain over and over throughout the movie. We also get scenes where there's like a cultist warning them not to go to the mountain, which is extraneous but probably the most interesting part, because outside of that we get padding like Father Benno watching like 5 or so minutes of his old show for no reason, and then we get a super exciting scene where Father Benno exercises the piece of wood. Yeah, that's super cool. And also, possessed wood is a strangely specific trope that I believe was also present in Amityville Exorcism. So, hey, Mark Polonia, no more haunted pieces of wood, please? That's really weird. But overall, for like half the movie or so, it was just a case of me going, can we please start? Can we start the movie? There's been enough exposition. Can we go? Why are we not going? And eventually we will get to that second act, where they go to Mount Ararat to find the Ark, and do you think Mark Polonia can afford to go to Mount Ararat? No. Can we go to a mountain? No. We're just going to go to the nearby woods and pretend we're climbing a mountain, and when stuff actually happens, it's just people walking through the woods pretending like it's intense. Oh, the military might be over there. Oh, we're so starving. I hope we get to the Ark soon because this is so intense. Us walking through the woods. And a little bit, not super spoiler on that third act, but when you actually get to the Ark, it's of course just a picture of the Ark, and you won't see the characters interact with it till they get close to it, and we swap out the photo of the Ark for like an old wooden barn that Mark Polonia found to film in. Now, one thing you might ask being shark fans is, where does the shark come into this? The shark was at the beginning, when the shark snuck aboard the Ark even though fish can't drown, so why would Noah have sharks? Yeah, that was weird, but there's not really been any sharks since all that clunky exposition in the beginning and the flashback sequences. Are we actually going to have sharks in the present? But unlike the cover that shows the actual 40-day flood, where there's actually, water here, how can we do a shark movie that takes place on a mountain? Don't worry, there'll be a small little puddle of water nearby the Ark that the characters just happen to wander to. Yeah, if you guys want a shark movie, this is so barely a shark movie, and it really is incredibly underwhelming. It's not Noah on his Ark fighting a shark, it's about the quest to look for the Ark told in a very boring way. And the shark element is also so barely in this movie. And honestly, I'm really sad that someone took this title, because boy, if someone with just a little bit of a budget actually decided to for real do a Noah Shark movie, that would have been so super fun. But no, we're stuck with this instead, and it really is just an incredibly underwhelming, super rambly nothing burger of a movie that just takes forever to get started, and when it does start, ultimately goes nowhere. Yeah, I can't really recommend this, especially not for shark fans. If you guys are super big into the weird career of Mark Polonia, then I guess you'll probably watch this anyway, but I can't really recommend it. It's just a super underwhelming film, and whatever. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. If you guys want to see me talk about movies kind of like this, feel free to click right here and see more. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.